Hi guys, it's Wraith here. The team and I are taking a month's break from Dragon's Reign while we get some other things ready behind the scenes. What things, you may ask? Well, first of all, my gay retelling of Cinderella, the Cinders and Ashes series, is now going to be 6 books instead of 5. There was just no way that I was going to end the story in only 5 books. There was so much that I wanted to include, including a ball scene. What's Cinderella without a ball scene? So I need to take a few weeks to really focus on giving the story the length it deserves and rework what I thought was going to be the packed final book into 2 separate books. This will make room for more fun, dramatic, romantic, and magical scenes. And then there's the question of what comes after Dragon's Reign. We're getting really close to the end of the story. When we started the podcast, we weren't really thinking about the future. Dragon's Reign was only about half written, and I had no idea what the final chapter count would be. At the time, we had less than 1,000 people on the YouTube channel. The podcast was a total experiment, and I figured it would be at least fun for members to hear my attempts at voice acting. It was also the only way to make one of my most popular stories into an audiobook. Before deciding to do Dragon's Reign, many people asked me if my serials, and not just my books, were available in audiobook form. Unfortunately, not just anything can be published as an audiobook on Audible. Amazon's rules require it to be a book first, and obviously the serials are not books. There are a few exceptions, like the incredibly popular podcast Lore, and I did ask Amazon if they'd make an exception for me, but they refused. So I couldn't follow the usual process of having auditions and finding a narrator for Dragon's Reign the way I did for my book series. Plus, Dragon's Reign wasn't even finished. I'd only written 70 chapters at the start, so instead, I decided to just record the chapters myself. I have to admit that we thought of this as a one-off project. We had the idea that we just do all of Dragon's Reign, which would keep us posting episodes every week for almost 3 years, and then we'd be done. 3 years is a long run for anything. Those of you who have just binged the first 120 chapters or so, keep in mind that this was posted 1 episode at a time every week. We'd then go back to our monthly updates and info posts on YouTube and wrap up the podcast feed. The recording of Dragon's Reign was supposed to be a fun extra tacked onto my books and serial stories. That was back in September 2019 when the first episode came out. But as I approached the end of the written story in September 2021, 2 years later, I realized that I couldn't just stop. It would leave a big hole where episodes once were. So the team and I started talking about what to do next. And by December 2021, I'd made my decision. I was going to turn another story into a podcast. I'm not going to tell you what it is just yet, but I don't think you'll be disappointed. Yet, unlike Dragon's Reign, we're not doing it by the seat of our pants. I am taking the time to coordinate, plan, and definitely improve the next Wraith Reign podcast experience. The last 15 chapters of Dragon's Reign will begin posting again on March 17th, 2022. And of course, we'll be around on Facebook, the community tab on YouTube, and our mailing list. If you haven't joined our mailing list yet, a link to the sign-up form is in the description. Hope you guys are well, take care of yourselves, and stay safe. Bye.